I just got a call from a constituent in Ohio, a guy named Chris, who said he tried to sign up. He thought he was signing up for private health care. He ended up incorrectly going to Medicaid. And then there was a glitch in the system, and now he can't sign up at all.
There has been an enormous effort expended, and an enormous effort that continues to be expended in making sure that the website functions effectively for the millions of Americans who have so clearly demonstrated that they desire the product on offer here.
But if the system doesn't communicate with the health insurers, when you go to the hospital, there's no way the hospital can determine whether you're insured or not. And that's the problem a lot of patients are having right now.
We're talking about the website, the back end, and there's more about this today developing about paperwork. Remember when the government, the administration, signed a new contract with Accenture, leaving the old contractor that built the website and launched Obamacare, the healthcare.gov. Well, there was paperwork assigned with that contract, and in there are fears. The entire health industry is at risk at one point in this paperwork, according to these memos, potentially leading to the default and disrupting continuing services and coverage to consumers. It goes on, without a financial management platform that accounts for enrollments and associated program costs, the entire health care reform program is jeopardized. It says if it's not done by mid-March. This is what, asked about that, the Health and Human Services Secretary said.
But there are only 300 insurers in the whole country, and they have signed off on, I mean, we will get them paid. There's no question about that. So, but we're on track.
So she's not worried about it, but those memos suggest the administration was. Let's bring in our panel. Steve Hayes, senior writer for the Weekly Standard, A.B. Stoddard, associate editor of The Hill, and syndicated columnist Charles Krauthammer. Just to get your head around some of the words used in these documents that, as they're hiring a new contractor, Charles, is pretty stunning.
It is, and I love the way that it's down the plate as, you know, it's a back-end problem. Makes it sound like a running back with a sprained gluteus maximus. I mean, this is the essence of the system. The healthcare.gov, the sign-up communicates with the insurer. So, and right now, what that document was saying in alarming tones is because the back end wasn't constructed, there's no way to communicate either accurate or any information about who the person is and if that person is insured. And then as a second result, there's no way to determine what the actual subsidy is. Right now, the insurers are guessing at the subsidy. So all of this is on the honor system, and it could be wildly off. If they undershoot, the insurers are going to go bust. If they overshoot, the government is going to be stuck with a huge bill. But the fact is that no one knows what's going on. And when you have a system as complicated as this, millions of people with millions of defective or non-existent IDs when they show up at the hospital, you've got a train wreck coming. Now, I think it's going to come out slowly. It's not going to all happen in one day, but I think they're in deep trouble. And the deadline is mid-March. If they don't have this in place at mid-March, then there's going to be all hell's going to break loose on this.
At the same time we're learning about all of this, AB, you have businesses like Target announcing they are no longer going to insure part-time workers. They're going to put them in the exchanges, adding to Home Depot and Trader Joe's and Walgreens and others who have done the same thing. Those numbers continue to increase.
Right. Well, there's obviously a growing number of patients who've discovered that they're not going to keep their doctor and the plan that they liked. And that is going to make this program unpopular while it faces these other enormous challenges. There are going to be people, if the employer mandate is ever enforced in full, that are going to be forced into the exchanges that find that they're on a new healthcare plan that they don't like. That's going to happen rolling timeline throughout this entire year and into next year, and that's going to be a new wave of Americans assessing this program. The most amazing thing about what's going on with the website is that the only thing worse than them acknowledging that there was something so urgent it could collapse the entire industry would be for them to not understand that that was actually going to be the result ultimately. But it is true. They still are not paying insurers. Enrollment is going to suffer. And in the end, if the enrollment doesn't reach its targets, no one has to worry about how unhappy people are with their plans, because there won't be a system in place anymore.
Steve.
But that is what makes this so interesting. It's amazing to me that it's news that the administration has provided an honest assessment of the state of healthcare reform. I mean, if they had been doing this all along, of course it wouldn't be news because we'd know. But they're finally catching up to the things that, you know, we've heard on this program and reporting elsewhere, that the healthcare reform law is in huge trouble, and the potential ramifications for the industry and for the country's economy are you know, hugely significant. For the administration finally to acknowledge this, I think, is a big deal. It was a stunning report. You know, Jim Angle deserves a lot of credit, I think, for pushing this, for getting this, for reporting this, and making clear to people exactly what's going on. The one sort of population that I'm most interested to see a response from, Democratic office holders. The administration has not only been telling us, we've not been only getting happy talk from Kathleen Sebelius and people who've testified on Capitol Hill, but remember, they've had these meetings with Democratic senators and House members telling them that everything is going swimmingly, that things are going to be fine, that the problems they hear in the press are nothing to worry about, and that all is going to be well. Just stick with us on this. Well, now, these same Democratic officials, Senate candidates in red states and others, are going to be looking at this memo and saying, wait a second, they've been telling me all along that things are fine, but when they have to put it down on paper in order to get this no-bid contract, they're actually giving an honest assessment that is the direct opposite of what they've been saying publicly now for months.
And there are red state senators already running against Obamacare in some cases, some Democrats. Charles.
If I could add one point on Target canceling the health insurance for part-time workers. They are spinning it as we have to do that because otherwise they won't be able to acquire subsidies on the exchanges. And so you have to ask yourself, why is that so? Why aren't the part-time workers allowed a choice? Stay with Target, stay with your doctor, or go on the exchanges and get a subsidy. So what it tells you is the bill was written deliberately to force employers to kick people off their plans, so that would be the only way to get the subsidies. In fact, what it tells you is that none of this is an unintended side effect of the creation of Obamacare. The purpose of Obamacare was to destroy the relationship between the employer and the employee in getting health care, and that's exactly why millions of people are being tossed off, and millions more will be as the larger as the larger employers start tossing people off later in the year.
Okay, people are weighing in on Bing. Next up, we talk abortion politics, the March for Life. We'll see how those stack up here. Keep it here.